सुधागड एज्युकेशन सोसायटीचे पूर्व प्राथमिक, प्राथमिक, माध्यमिक व उच्च माध्यमिक विद्यालय कळंबोली मराठी
Welcome students, welcome to standard 12th. I am Mrs. Chandratre and it's our new syllabus. Let's we start our first poem of new syllabus, that is Song of the Open Road. Song of the Open Road by Walt Whitman. Let's introduce about the poet Walt Whitman. Walt Whitman was an American poet, essayist, Walt Whitman was an American poet, essayist, and journalist. Whitman is among the most influential poets in the American literature and is often called the father of free verse. What is mean by free verse? Free verse means no rhyming pairs, no fixed construction or no rhyming words, etc. The poet Whitman grew up in Huntington in a family with a difficult economic status. His major work, Leaves of Grass, was published in July 1855. His O Captain, My Captain, a poem written on the death of Abraham Lincoln, is wildly popular. The section 1 of Song of the Open Road. The Song of the Open Road from Leaves of Grass is a beautiful combine of self-awareness, free will, and tenderness of heart. It gives us a poet's realization that along the journey of life, one will face a test of wisdom, which is not tested in any school or university. Now it's a text about the poem. A road. A road is something everyone uses, whether rich or poor, and it forces all levels of people to associate with one another. The road signifies mobility. One can take the road as a point to start over towards something new. Whitman talks about the people and places. He argues against staying in one place for too long, although the hospitality may be true. So, it's an introduction about the poet. Let's begin our new poem, that is the first poem of this new syllabus, Song of the Open Road. The Open Road. First of all, we discuss about open road. What is mean by open road? The open road. Open road. Open road symbolizes freedom, positivity, optimism, etc. Just we completed introduction about a poet and then importance of title. Now this poem is divided. Song of the Open Road is divided in 5 stanzas. The poet uses many figures of speech, that is alliteration, repetition, metaphor, imagery, etc. It is an inspirational poem. The theme of the poem are optimism, freedom, democracy, and positivity. Fourth, I ask not good fortune, I myself am good fortune. The poet thinks he is a controller, he is a good fortuner. Henceforth, I ask not good fortune. Good fortune means luck. Good fortune. Repetition of the words good fortune, good and fortune. So, this figure of speech is called repetition. That is repetition of the words good and fortune. First figure of speech in this of this stanza, that is the second stanza. Now second figure of speech of this stanza, no more, no more. Henceforth I whimper no more, postpone no more. Repetition of the words of no and more. So it is called repetition. Henceforth I ask not good fortune, I myself am good fortune. Henceforth I whimper no more, postpone no more, need nothing. Whimper, it's also a new word. Whimper, whimper means especially a series of low, weak and sad cries. कुरबुर करणे किंवा कुठल्याही प्रकारे जे माझ्या पुढे आलेलं आहे त्याचे मी कुठल्याही प्रकारे कुरकुर करणार नाही किंवा कुठल्याही प्रकारे मी क्रिटिसिझम्स करणार नाही, कुठल्याही गोष्टी मी पोस्टपोन करणार नाही, मला कशाचीही गरज नाही. सो henceforth I ask not good fortune. So I ask not good fortune. The poet himself thinks that he, that is the poet, who is architect of his own future, who is architect, who is maker of his own future, of his life. Done with indoor complaints, libraries, querulous criticisms, strong and content, I travel the open road. Now here, querulous criticisms. Querulous criticisms, it's a new word. Querulous means complaining, showing that one is irritated. Querulous criticism. Querulous, k sound, and criticism, k sound. The repetition of the sound of k. So it's called alliteration. The figure of speech is called alliteration. Next stanza, the poet continues. Next stanza, that is the fourth stanza. Let's continue fourth stanza. The earth that is sufficient, the earth that is sufficient, I do not want the constellations any nearer. I know they are very well where they are, I know they suffice for those who belong to them. Constellations, new word, constellations. Constellation means group of people, group of powerful people. So the poet don't want the help of powerful peoples. I know they are very well where they are. The earth, only the earth is sufficient for the poet. The poet don't want any help of powerful people. I know they are very well where they are. I know they suffice for those who belong to them. The earth is enough to provide for his needs. He does not need destiny or a luck star to help him. He is sure he can manage his life's journey. Constellations refers to powerful people. He says he does not require powerful people to help him to progress. Now repetition of these two two words, I and know. I know. Repetition of a word or phrase at the beginning of the lines of a same stanza is called anaphor. One new figure of speech, that is anaphor. Repetition of the words I know. Repetition of a word or phrase at the beginning of the lines of a same stanza is called anaphor. So, just we completed fourth stanza. Let's begin fifth stanza, that is the last stanza of the poem. Still here I carry my old delicious burdens. I carry them, men and women. I carry them with me wherever I go. I swear it is impossible for me to get rid of them. I am filled with them and I will fill them in return. Now, this stanza or the last four lines, the poet separates himself as a different kind of person. He says that he carries old delicious burdens. He carries old delicious burdens. This figure of speech is called paradox. The old delicious burdens. Delicious and burdens. These two are opposite words. Delicious and burdens. Here, burdens indicates sweet memories of a place and people. So, old delicious burdens, absurd, unlike opposite ideas. Absurd, unlike opposite ideas are there, but it may be true. Here, a burden can't be delicious. जेव्हा कंप्लीट दोन ऑपोजिट आयडिया एकत्र येतात, ऑपोजिट आयडिया ज्या एकमेकांच्या विरोधी आहे परंतु त्या प्रत्यक्षामध्ये खऱ्या असतात आणि म्हणून ह्या फिगर ऑफ स्पीचला पॅराडॉक्स असं म्हणतात. नाव पॅराडॉक्स इज डिफरंट फ्रॉम ॲन अँटिथेसिस if there are two opposite words, but here absurd or unlike ideas, opposite ideas, it may be true, and that's why this figure of speech is called paradox. Here a burden can't be delicious. His heart is full of sweet memories, though he wants to be free. बर्डन्स म्हणजे ओझं हे डेलिशियस असू शकत नाही, परंतु इथे बर्डन्स हे स्वीट मेमरीज किंवा कवीच्या घडून गेलेल्या आयुष्यातील गेलेल्या आयुष्यातील काही आठवणी आहे आणि त्या आठवणी ह्या डेलिशियस म्हणजे स्वीट्स आहेत किंवा गोड आठवणी आहेत. सो हिज हार्ट इज फुल ऑफ स्वीट मेमरीज दो ही वॉन्ट्स टू बी फ्री. आणि त्याच्यातून त्याला टू गेट रीड ऑफ देम, त्याला फ्री व्हायचं आहे. आय एम फिल्ड विथ देम, सो ही वॉन्ट्स फिल विथ दीज स्वीट मेमरीज अँड आय विल फिल देम इन रिटर्न. हिज हार्ट इज फुल ऑफ स्वीट मेमरीज दो ही वॉन्ट्स टू बी फ्री. These may be attachments and relationships. He calls them delicious burdens because they are sweet and wonderful. They can stop him from going to the journey. he will not get rid of them. He will carry them with him. So, this stanza, that is the last stanza, put in a bracket. The last four lines, the poet separates himself as a different kind of person. In bracket, it's a special feature of this poetic device. It is called parenthesis. Parenthesis means कंस किंवा bracket किंवा कोष्टक. The last four lines, the poet separates himself as a different kind of person. So, it put in a bracket. So, this stanza is called parenthesis. Thank you.